Welcome to the Awakening Women podcast. I'm your host, Leanne Oaten, and for almost a decade, I have been a transformation coach and therapist. This podcast is all about lifting the veil of consciousness and awakening to the truth. It is also about helping you to raise the bar in all areas of your life and relationships by starting with you. If you're ready to take back your personal power and reclaim your life, you have come to the right place. I'm so glad that you're here, so let's get started with today's episode. How a narcissistic partner makes you look like the asshole. So this is something I've been talking about with clients and something I personally have experienced, which is when they change that, they have that behavior change, that sudden behavior change. I've been talking about this in our Facebook group. I did a video on it because it was spurred from an email I received around this, and it just kind of snowballed. I posted about it on Instagram, so it's just gotten a lot of feedback around, oh my gosh, yes, I've experienced this sudden come to Jesus behavior change when they suddenly start acting like everything you've always ever wanted, or it's just maybe over the top, sickly sweet, creepy, kind of off-putting. But when you are not receptive to those overtures or the bids to connect or the nice things that they're trying to do, or they're trying to hug you, or they're trying to be physical with you, or they're buying you things, or they're trying to make small talk and act like everything is normal when it's not. This is actually a form of gaslighting, by the way. It's where your reality is kind of just thrown to the side and they're acting like everything's fine when it's not. So you don't know how to respond to that. So they make you look like the asshole and the problem because you are not receptive to their kind overtures and their niceties, right? So they often will do this in front of other people, in front of your kids. So you actually start to look like the bad one, like the one with the problem. So you have to be really aware of this, that this is part of the twistedness of it. If that's a word, twistedness, the fuckery of it. Because you're not really up for it anymore. You're like, I'm so over this bullshit. Like, I don't even want you to look at me. Never mind talk to me or buy me flowers or try and hug me, right? So I was just talking with a client about this. And she's like, oh my God, this is exactly it. And I mean, I've had this actually, all three of my private clients right now have mentioned some form or another of this, of like, I'm done with this. Like, he knows, like, I'm in a different room. We don't even talk. We're living separate lives. Basically, we're not even like in a relationship anymore, but he wants to act like everything's normal and fine. And then if I'm not receptive to it, or I'm snappy or not wanting any of it, then I look like the jerk in this. And the kids see that. So then I look like I'm the one that's causing the problems. I wanted to add this here on the podcast because it's like strange and odd behaviors 2.0 as I'm chatting with women, and I feel like I need to put this somewhere so that women can hear it and go, oh my God, like this is exactly what I'm dealing with. How the hell do I deal with this, right? It's odd. It's really weird because the thing is, like, a normal person that you've been married to, that you have kids with, that you have a family with, if they can see that you are leaving, like you're in a different room in the house, you've set up shop, you're not having anything to do with them, you're basically living two different lives, they don't come to you and say, hey, this really is awful. I want to do whatever it takes here. Like, what can we do? How can we work together? Like, I can see that, you need space and all that, but is there something that we can start working on? Is there anything I can do? And sometimes they do say these things, right? But they don't really, they're not meaning it. It's not coming from the right place. But so they sometimes can say these things. So this is where it can get tricky. But instead, often they will just try and act like everything's fine, like everything's normal. And they put on this sweet, sickly sweet, nice act. And it throws you because it's twisted. Right. And as I said, it's the way I see it is a form of gaslighting, like makes you question your reality. So I don't know if you can resonate with this. I wanted to add it here just in case, because maybe it will make anyone listening that's experiencing that feel less crazy, because it is crazy making. It's so unbelievably difficult to know how to handle and how to deal with, because you're in this place of like, I'm done. Like, I don't even want anything to do with you. And then they start acting all sweet and doting and attentive to you. It's hard to know what to do with. And again, then you feel like the asshole for not wanting it, or feeling like don't come near me kind of thing, or like, you're just not falling for it. So eventually when you stop falling for it, then they can flip a switch and they're back to the nasty again, and it can get pretty ugly. So just being aware that this is part of the cycle. Part of the cycle is changing in behavior, a sudden shift in behavior where they're acting like everything's fine, like everything's normal, like there's no problems here. Like, what is your issue? Like, why are you acting like this? Like, why are you so angry? Why are you such a bitch? Why this? Why that? Well, yes, this has been 10, 20, whatever, however many years of this. And, your little surface level overtures are not working on me anymore. And so when that's not working, they're like, screw you kind of thing, right? And then the nasty comes out and things can go sideways. So I just wanted to put this here to offer any comfort, if you will, if this is something you are dealing with and maybe you couldn't put words to it or make any sense of it. You can't make sense of nonsense, so don't even try. But stay in your power, stay in your reality, realize this is not normal. This is not how a normal person would behave when their spouse is basically sleeping in a different area of the house. You're living separate lives and they're not doing anything to even talk to you about it or figure it out. Like, it's kind of just left in this weird limbo place, and it's the most uncomfortable place to be. It really is. And so if you're going through that, I really, really feel for you. And if you're wanting support, today's the last day to get yourself into end the cycle. This is my 6-month mentoring where you're going to get on a call with me. You have the opportunity every week to get on a live call and get some coaching and join my program and get the support as you are figuring out what your next steps are. You head to leanneoten.com/evolve. As I said, today is the last day to register for this cohort, and I don't know when I'll be opening it again or if I will. So if you're wanting to jump in, today is that final day. So I hope to see you inside. Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of the Awakening Women podcast. If you love this show and it has served you and helped you on your journey, please take a moment right now and leave a rating and review in iTunes and Spotify. If you'd like more daily content, videos, and inspiration, come on over and join me at Awakening Women Support Official over on Instagram, where we can connect and you can continue your transformation and growth journey. And I'll see you online.